Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of Surviving with English. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about surviving in South Africa with only English. So, one of the most common questions I get asked by Japanese people and other foreigners is, what is the official language of South Africa? And the answer always surprises them because we actually have 11 official languages. That's right, 11. And English only cracks number 4 as the 4th most spoken first language in the country. But with so many languages, how do we communicate with each other? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Almost everyone in South Africa can speak at least 2 languages, with English being the second language most of the time. This is because many of the schools and universities are actually taught in English. There are many reasons for this and can be quite a touchy subject, but basically English is an international language that everyone uses, whereas many of the other South African languages are really only used in South Africa. But even native English speakers have to learn a second language at school. That's why ek kan 'n bietjie Afrikaans praat. Another reason why English is so common in South Africa is because South Africa is a very important tourist destination, and it actually contributes to our GDP if we get more tourists. Plus, more companies and more people will make more money if they know English and are able to lead foreigners around. However, not everyone is fluent in English, so do be careful of that. But you can still bump into any English speaker anywhere, and if they don't speak English, they will know someone that does. So surviving in South Africa is actually pretty easy, both as a tourist and even if you're living here. All official documents are generally in English and maybe 1 or 2 other languages, so it's quite easy to survive. However, I do recommend learning some South Africanisms before visiting, because there are a lot and they can create some misunderstandings. So let me just list a few for you. Number 1, how's it and is it? Well, how's it's pretty simple. It's how is it? And is it is it? But it's kind of like asking the question, really, or are you sure, or something like that. Another one, and this one's very important, a braai. Now, never ever call a barbecue in South Africa. It's a braai. People in South Africa get really offended if you call it a barbecue. So it's a braai. Remember that. Another good word to know is lekker, which means good. So you can say, this is a lekker braai, and you can sound pretty South African. Also, we don't call traffic lights. We call them robots. Now, I know many people find that really weird, but just so that you know, when people are giving you directions, saying turn left at the robots, that they mean traffic light and not some giant structure or mechanical being. Also, another good one to know is ish, which there's no direct translation, but basically it's an expression of exasperation or surprise. It can be used in both situations. The same thing as yaw. Yaw is actually quite a common one as well. So those are some basic South Africanisms, but I do recommend brushing up if you ever want to visit South Africa. But in the end, surviving in South Africa is pretty easy, especially compared to the survivability in Japan with only English. So for today's episode of South Africa versus Japan, I'm going to have to give this point to South Africa. Yep, that's right. So with the scores being tied, I'll leave South Africa versus Japan to another time. If you have any of your own interesting South Africanisms or Japaneseisms, please leave them down in the comments below. And check out this video for part 1 with surviving in Japan with English. And check over here for some more videos. Also, don't forget to subscribe above. Until next time, cheers.